I can't believe I'm about to say this, but the president is clearly getting more confident. He's always had a confidence problem. He got a big victory with North Korea this week. Another one may be coming with that summit. The economy is strong, but his critics, they're a little bit more desperate. There's talk of a Nobel Prize from all places, the New York Times. So is this Trump thing just crazy enough to work? Let's continue the discussion with comedian and host of the Dennis Miller Option. It's a podcast. He is Dennis Miller. Welcome back, Dennis.
Kennedy, I missed your monologue tonight, but
I know
the
we ran out of time. It was so sassy.
I know. He loves the yak, but I'm a little angry now that he robbed me of your monologue.
I appreciate that very much. I was deeply entertained by the speech because when he's not in a defensive crouch and when he's just trumpeting his most recent victories, that's when he is his most entertaining, particularly when he goes off script, because it tends to be not quite as angry. What did you think of his remarks tonight?
Kennedy, I was sitting here, and I didn't hear all of them, but I can kind of hear the speech in my head. I assume he was taking a bit of a strut about last night, and I'm happy for him. Yep. I'm happy for the country. I know there are people out there who actually took their Ambien a little earlier last night so they wouldn't have to watch that. I'm not amongst them. I like that big flag. I like those three guys getting off the plane. I remember when Hillary used to run that silly ad, who would you call at 3 a.m.? Well, I have to say I'd call President Trump. You know why? He hasn't even gone to bed yet. He's still out at Andrews Air Force Base at 3 a.m., picking up three guys that he pried out of Bat Guanovania crazy land and got back to their home turf. So I'm happy for Trump last night. And you know what? I can't wake up every day, although I realize there's a suitable part of this country that will never ever budge. I don't even know that getting him out of there is as important to them as clinging to their hate for him. It is like an Algonquin campfire of hate that they all warm themselves around. It's never going to change. It's either going to be hate for the next 2 years. They think they're going to get him out. I don't think they will. It'll be hate until the 4 years, or it'll be hate for 8 years. But every iota he's in there, they'll never give him credit. I can't do that. I didn't do it with Obama, and he wasn't my cup of tea. But I'm not going to do that with this guy.
I know,
part of the country is.
Dennis, people talk about the opioid crisis, but I think the real addiction here is the media is addicted to Donald Trump. They're addicted to the whole thing. The crazy lawyer, the FBI raid, the Melania gossip, the fiery speeches, the success, the possible failure, the collusion. They're addicted to all of it, and they're mainlining it. And I cannot believe for 1 second that they will actively campaign against them with words in 2 years.
I think they're kind of getting him elected 2 years out. I'm telling you, this day-to-day hysteria is really falling on deaf ears to a large degree now. There's a part of this country that likes him. And there's a part of this country, if he brings the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula to bear, and he wins the Nobel Peace Prize for that, they're not going to want to slit their wrists. They're going to say, well, they gave that to Obama like a month after he was in office. Yep. So if this guy manages to pull that off, you know what? I wish that they'd give it to Trump and he'd tell him to stick it, because they gave it to Yasser Arafat at one point.
They did,
and the award
Kissinger,
means
and people
absolutely
retired
nothing.
they resigned from the committee. Dennis Miller, we're up against a hard break. Thank you, my friend.